Hello there. Calls are increasing for the UK taxpayer to help rescue the Channel Tunnel train operator Eurostar. But on what basis? Firstly, please subscribe and like this video to give my channel a boost. And I'm always uploading new content, so please do check back daily. And a big thanks to my Patreon and PayPal supporters. According to reports, Eurostar is haemorrhaging money after passenger numbers plummeted due to the pandemic and needs UK taxpayer cash to keep it afloat. But as I'll come on to, the UK taxpayer doesn't have an interest in Eurostar. Writing in The Independent, Simon Calder says, "In a normal year, Eurostar would be expected to carry more than 30,000 passengers a day on average, sell tickets worth £1 billion annually, and make around £100 million in profit. But trains through the Channel Tunnel from London have been reduced to a single trip to Paris and another to Brussels and Amsterdam, with a typical daily total of 200 to 300 travellers." And it's not just Eurostar. As you can see from this graph, compiled using data from Road and Rail, the quarterly drop in rail passenger journeys in Great Britain was vast, going from circa 400 million or more a quarter to 35 million overnight. So Eurostar has enormous costs and zero income to cover them. As a result, the Eurostar chief executive, Jacques Damas, sent the Chancellor Rishi Sunak a begging letter last November. And now, according to Sky News, pressure is mounting on the UK and French governments to agree financial aid for Eurostar, the cross-channel rail operator, as it fights for survival. And it went on to say that a campaign for financial aid gathered pace in the UK this week when a letter backed by businesses was sent to the Treasury and Department for Transport urging them not to threaten the UK's economic recovery and post-Brexit future by letting Eurostar fall between the cracks of support. And the chair of the Transport Select Committee, Tory MP Hugh Merriman, said, "We simply cannot afford to lose Eurostar to this pandemic. The company contributes £800 million each year to the UK economy. It is unique in offering an environmentally friendly direct connection to mainland Europe. Trips from London to Paris, Brussels and Amsterdam on the Eurostar emit between 80 to 90% less greenhouse gas emissions per passenger than the equivalent short-haul flights. Like airlines, quarantine and travel restrictions have blighted Eurostar's access to its markets during the pandemic. Unlike airlines, Eurostar has been shut out from government loans that have offered a lifeline. Eurostar's traffic has fallen by over 95%. Services have been stripped back to a bare minimum. It needs a joint, bespoke UK-French solution to help it through this crisis." But why should the UK taxpayer be expected to bail out a company in which it has no interest? The UK does not own any part of Eurostar. The Dutch Review reports that Eurostar is a private company, so they don't receive aid from the government, leaving them in a very critical condition, according to Christophe Fanichet, CEO of French rail company SNCF, co-manager of Eurostar. Without government assistance by April, the train company will no longer be able to meet its payment obligations. But the company's appeal for government aid doesn't look promising. This is a French company in England, so the British are not helping, and the French are not helping because it is in England, Fanichet told reporters. So even the French government appears to be unwilling to help. Now, just for completeness, this is how the operation works according to Eurostar. The Channel Tunnel, often called the Tunnel for short, is an undersea tunnel linking southern England and northern France. It is operated by the company GetLink, who also run a railway shuttle, Le Shuttle, between Folkestone and Calais, carrying passengers in cars, vans and other vehicles. Eurostar is a totally separate company and is Getlink's biggest customer, running high-speed passenger services through the Channel Tunnel between London and a number of other European cities on the continent, including Paris, Brussels, Lille, Lyon, Avignon and Marseille. The shares in the tunnel owner's Getlink appear to be spread across the institutional, public company, general public and insider ownership. Now, Eurostar commenced operations under the ownership of the French national rail operator SNCF, the Belgian state rail operator SNCB and British Rail. But the UK government divested itself of the 40% share in the concern and sold it to a two-company consortium. 10% of Eurostar held by a UK-based company called Hermes Infrastructure and 30% held by a Canadian firm, Caisse de dépôt de placement du Québec, CDPQ. So as far as I can see, it pans out like this. France, via SNCF, owns 55%, the Canadian company CDPQ has 30%, Hermes owns 10%, and the Belgian SNCB has 5%. So were the UK taxpayers to put their hands in their pockets, all we would be doing is bailing out the French and Belgian taxpayers as well as two private investment companies. And consider that we've already been paying for furloughed Eurostar workers in the UK. And what would we get in return for a bailout? Trains would keep operating under Eurostar. And the argument seems to be that it's wonderful to have a UK to EU train service and that it's very green. But that would be the case if it was operating under any company logo. If Eurostar failed, it would presumably go into administration and get snapped up cheap by another operator. So it could continue to operate, with the only change being the paint job on the side of the engines and carriages and the logos on the uniforms. Either that or the four shareholders will have to put their hands in their own pockets, not ours. Then there's the matter of the EU single market to consider. Money from the UK taxpayer for some sort of bailout would be state aid from a foreign power, not a shareholder bailout. And who are we to interfere in the EU's oh-so-precious single market? There is the option, of course, of the UK buying back into Eurostar, thus placing itself on the hook for a bailout. But why would anyone want to do that? The UK can just stand back and watch as the company changed hands. Surely that's the cheapest option for us. After all, how much of that £100 million a year profit did we get? There's also the matter of how much longer these pandemic travel restrictions will continue. The UK government has pinned its hopes of an economic recovery on a massive vaccine rollout. But we are far ahead of France with that. And how will the UK being 60 to 70% vaccinated affect travel through the tunnel with the EU? If France, for example, lags in its vaccination programme and has to impose more lockdowns, one assumes the Channel Tunnel fixed link will also be affected. Either that or we'll start seeing the use of certificates for proof of vaccination. But even with vaccines, we're being told some restrictions won't stop very quickly anyway. So the UK to EU rail link could be operating at almost zero capacity for months to come. And the question is, can it be right for the UK taxpayer to bail out majority foreign-owned companies in which we have no interest when we're in the middle of an economically devastating pandemic? Anyway, if you want to hear more from me, please don't forget to subscribe and also press that little bell, or you won't get any notifications. And if you want to see more of me, buy a mug with my mug on it by following the link in the descriptions box below, and support me on Patreon or PayPal. So what do you think about bailing Eurostar out? Please share and comment, and thank you for watching. Please do like and share this video. And also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. And thank you very much for watching.